let's talk about the dreaded interest rate conundrum. So, are rates at a happy place? No. Most people, including mortgage lenders, realtors, no one is really happy about where rates are. Whether you're buying a home as a first-time home buyer or you're selling your home and buying again, no one is super excited about interest rates. In general, this year they've been between a 6.5 to a 7. We were promised multiple rate cuts this year, none of which majorly have happened. We were also promised another rate cut here in September by the Federal Reserve. Keep in mind, the Federal Reserve is the group that sets interest rates. They are not technically governed by Congress or the president. So as much as Trump can ask for rate cuts or Congress can want them, they can continue to do what they feel is necessary for the country to help battle inflation. So originally we thought we were going to get another rate cut based on certain reports that come out, like the Consumer Price Index report and the jobs report. Both of those were in line with where they should have been, indicating that we should be getting a rate cut and that inflation risks are lower. However, there's another report called the Producer Price Index, or the PPI. That one we don't hear about quite as much, but that one is a big report that just came out, and that's how much it costs producers to buy the goods that they then sell to us consumers. That report came in significantly worse than what was anticipated, meaning that companies, wholesalers, producers are paying a lot more for items than they were last year or even a few months ago. And that's usually directly related to tariffs and cost of goods from other countries and how they feel about us and our value and worth as a country. So that report did not come in very good, which means that those costs could likely be passed down to us with continued high cost to purchase goods, which could then further skew the other two reports. So we could anticipate not necessarily seeing another rate cut here in September like we had hoped. May see one in December. Right now, a lot of economists and financial gurus and people who've been in the mortgage industry for a long time are anticipating we may not see a significant rate cut at all this year. It may be 2026 before we see any type of rate cut. And then the predictions for that rate cut, which keep in mind, the interest rates they're referring to are national interest rates, so interest rates on borrowing money for other items, not necessarily mortgage rates, although they do tend to flow together sometimes. So even from the mortgage industry side, they are predicting we may get down to around a 6, which means some individuals could be at 5% interest rates. A lot will not though. So the big picture for those who are looking to buy, who have been waiting, keep in mind all of the people that waited last year and did not buy because they were convinced housing prices were going to come down and rates were going to come down, neither happened for them. And now not only if they buy now are rates still where they were, but housing prices went up for many people from last year to this year. On average, again, if you take that 3%, that could be around $100 more added to your mortgage for the same house that you were looking at last year if it was on the market this year. So the waiting game does not typically financially benefit you. Now, the people who did decide to buy last year and paid a little bit less for the houses than they would have this year still have the opportunity to refinance those houses and lower their interest rate if they come down. But if you're buying and waiting, then you may be paying more for the same and hoping you have the ability to refinance. So I would say the waiting game, not a great idea, knowing that the prediction is for housing prices to continue to tick up at that 3 to 4%, which is normal, by the way. That's how we gain equity. So that's a good thing if you do own a home. So if you're looking to buy, you have questions of how do I get qualified? How do I budget for a down payment? Those really should be your bigger questions, not what are interest rates, because you can't change them. Just like gas prices. You're going to pull up to the pump. That's what the price is for today. So the bigger thing we want to talk about on the mortgage side is how do we get you prepared credit-wise? How do we get you prepared budget-wise? And how do we help you save more? Reach out today if you want to know more or want some help or one of my free budget sheets.